While we were in Northern Ireland for the Our Kings Down rally, everyone said, you've got to visit the bars, because the bars are great in Northern Ireland, and I found the best bar I have ever seen in my life. You can have anything you want in this bar, as long as it's a World Rally car or it's a Metro 6R4. This is Denis Biggerstaff's Bar Museum, and I tell you what, I'm not going to be very good on this video because I'm far too distracted. Everywhere I look, there is a little bit of magic and a little bit of treasure, because this is the ultimate man cave for a rally fan. Denis, thank you so much for welcoming us in here. This is one of the most amazing places I've ever been, and you must really get a kick out of seeing people walk in here and going, wow.
Yeah, people don't expect to come from outside that can't believe the size of it. I can't believe this isn't going on.
And this is no ordinary car collection, because this really is, it's a story of your life and your family's life in motorsport. The rallycross days, the rally days, it's all here, isn't it? In cars and parts and pictures and models.
Yeah, and this is what I call my personal junk. So I've lived it and now I'm reliving it.
The best bit about this is when I get home, I'm going to show my wife this, and she's going to let me put bumpers and wheels in the house as much as I like, because I'm never going to have more than this in my house, am I? Right, where do we start? Because you're going to give us a little talk around this, aren't you? Because I honestly, I don't know where to start. It's one of the most amazing sights I've ever seen, and the names on the walls, the pictures, Chris Meek's race boots there. There's pictures of Colin McRae around the place, and rallycross heroes. I grew up watching rallycross, going to the final at Craft and watching people like Denis in the 6R4s and the proper supercar days. Where do we start, Denis? Where did this barn museum start for you?
Well, this is here because of insurance purposes, but we've been carrying junk for 40 years, and my wife was getting tired of it. So we built a little place to put it into, and here we are. We had a plan that we didn't, we started off with panels and then signs and then pictures and models, and it's just gathered up, 40 years of gathering up. There's certain little pieces people wouldn't recognise that, there's them signs there came from Cian Cumber. These doors here came from the original Metro 6R4, one of the three prototypes. This car was broken up, but we ended up with in our spares. So.
And I'm going to show you in a minute one of the prototypes, the car for me when it comes to Metro 6R4s, because I'm a huge Tony Pond fan and it's the car. But we'll get to that. I'm right when I say this is no ordinary collection of junk, as you put it, because you have created these stories. And I mean, we saw Stuart in this car on the down rally yesterday. Did very well to clean it up in time to bring it down here. Mind you, I think it's still got a few
it's not clean
rally
up.
Marks on it. But we saw this car on the down rally yesterday, so the family is still well and truly involved and out on the stages. And we saw the lovely computer vision 6R4 on Friday night at the Boulevard for the opening of the down rally. And it was nice to have that throwback to some of the heritage, wasn't it, at that start?
I think the club run a brilliant event. The guys that run it, I can't believe how good a PR they done and everything, and they just wanted wee things here and there, and that was one of the things they wanted. So yeah, it was quite easy for us.
Tell me about this car.
Well, I call this a tribute car. It's one of the original, one of the 200 Metro 6R4s. I think
Clubman cars.
I think that's a Clubman car, but it's an early chassis. It's in the top 15 in numbers, but we've done bits and pieces in it, and we've changed it, and we've been in different places with Metro 6R4s over the years, and I can't remember everything, but yeah, we for the 30th anniversary they asked us over for, and we just painted this car in the original colours. It's not the real car. The rear car's up in the corner there, but I think they believe we don't have it, so there's a few stories about that, but I can show it to them.
There's one thing about Metro 6R4s that you need to know if you don't already, and that's if you put something online, somebody will argue with it because everybody's an expert. So we'll try not to get too many people stoked up in this little walk around, but believe me, the history is here and the stories are right here. So if you really want the proper story, this is the place to come. So we've got the Fiesta R5 we saw yesterday, and just a whole manner of car parts. What have we got up here, Denis?
This was a car that we actually built. That shell. It's not a proper 6R4 shell, it's a tribute car. It's long wheelbase, it's low line roof and stuff like. We lowered and landed it. We used that in Barbados, I think.
Did you?
Yeah. So,
What was the thought behind lengthening it?
well, I think the bone of the 6R4, the engine's too far back over the suspension. And if you really took a bump really hard, you were looking straight down. Like you seen one car yesterday, I think it was Toner's yellow one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the way these cars would, if you really over an iron with a lot of bumpy roads.
Yeah.
So you tend to be looking straight down or tumble over. So we thought if we moved the wheels back behind the engine, it'd give it a wee bit more stability in bumps. And we lowered the shell down over the chassis, which obviously would be a bit of aerodynamics. So we did, yeah, it pretty well worked.
What did you start with? A normal Metro? Or did you start with
We started
a
with a normal
6R4?
Metro, and we built the chassis. But the chassis we had, we'd bought all the chassis parts out of Austin Rover. So we built the chassis, so there's probably a proper chassis in it. 6R4 shell put over the top of it,
Yep.
or a Metro shell put over the top of it, which is basically the same as a 6R4. You know, the roof and the quarter
Yep.
panels and the windscreen and the scuttle are all standard Metro parts. The floor and the chassis and is all bespoke parts they built from these cars. But yeah, that was a good wee car in its time too.
Did it work?
Yeah,
The additional development?
it was lighter, longer and lower. And it was done on a jig, so it was pretty good, but the wheels sit behind the engine.
And I bet you upset a few of the purists along the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do occasionally, I suppose. This was something here in Germany, Nürburgring, Rallycross. You know, so it got us.
Sideways in the air is how I remember Metro 6R4s in Rallycross.
Yeah,
And
there was a big drop there and she landed the right road. That was a square right over a 20-foot jump.
where is this? Is this Brands?
That's Brands Hatch
Yeah.
Grand Prix. The number of the cars won, so I won the championship 92, so that's 93.
It wasn't the only time you won the championship, though, was it?
Well, no, it's just the rallycross was only once, 92.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I won a few rally championships and sprints and hill climbs.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of fun in these cars on a small budget, so I was pretty happy.
Did it all begin here?
Yeah. We're replicating that car at the minute,
Are you?
and that's what these posts here are for. So it'll sit up there in the window,
Fantastic.
and that's the car we chose to, you know, one of my first cars.
Tell me about that.
Well, again, we made space frame back in, and it was just it was probably 1460 car, and we done rallycross and we done hill climbs. We even rallied that, I think, at one point. Put headlights in it, you know. So we done everything with what we had. We were a bit of a fanatic back in the day, where we done everything they would let us do, if it fitted into the rules some way. This was an important car in mine too. This was Subaru chassis one. I drove it for 2 or 3 years. Great car. I traded it in for my latest one, which wasn't a great idea, although this one's coming good now.
Yeah, I mean, value-wise, you said to me this isn't about money, but value-wise, they have gone through the roof.
That was through the roof. You value anything in what you paid for it. It's the best way to think about it, because other than that, you wouldn't drive them.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
So
exactly.
this car's grown massively in value this last few years.
Well, I think we should probably move on to this one then, shouldn't we? Because Peter Solberg made this car famous. And it's just a car of my childhood, this is growing up
See if it fits
in
you.
rallying.
We'll do you a deal.
Yeah.
Hop in.
These are the cars that I talk about so much on Special Stage. Because the noise that they made with all the mechanics,
Yeah.
clunking and everything doing its thing, and the braking and the accelerating.
Well, this was Patter's 03 tarmac car. He drove it twice or 3 times, I think. Most cars he only drove once that year. So there's quite a few cars involved in his championship, but this is special because in 04 they didn't have an S10 ready. So this is why this became a one in the store, simply because ProDrive didn't have a car ready. We drove it in right-hand drive and we've turned it back to left-hand drive to make it period correct.
But you did compete at the very top level over here in this car. We enjoyed seeing this car in action in your hands.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I was at the top level ever, if anything, but I enjoyed my motorsport. We done it on a budget. My son did very well in his first year rallying.
Yep.
He drove with this car and won the Northern Ireland Championship, and he's still the youngest Northern Ireland champion. So yeah.
Imagine driving a Subaru World Rally car in your first year of rallying.
Well, I suppose we done a wee sprint in the year before, and I were raced against each other, and I realised this potential, and I let him do the first two rallies because it was on a track, and like he was maybe second on his first rally, and I says, well, I'll step back. And the Circuit of Ireland, he was like 70th in the first stage because he'd never been on a road, and the last stage he was running second quickest, so you know, against Kenny McKinstry, he was super at that time. So yeah, he progressed over through the year till he got enough points to win. So.
But you mentioned Kenny McKinstry. You two were two of a huge clutch of WRC drivers in Ireland that we used to watch, and those days were heady days, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Well, I think the Group B days were the best days. The Subaru days. I didn't go into really rally until I was too old, and pace notes was always a problem for me, but I did okay.
Right, I've been considering how I do this, given that I'm on camera, but there's no elegant way to do it, so you'll have to just speed that bit
You
up.
have to practice that.
Yeah, I will.
A wee bit more
I'll happily
practice would be
practice
good.
that. If someone wants to hand me a Subaru World Rally car to practice with, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
So this car is now back in its works colour scheme, and that's now retired. We're not going to see that in competitive action again, is that right?
No, I don't think parts and whatever all will not be.
Even just mapping the diffs and things is an issue, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we'll take it and do some little shows and stuff. We have done Deja Vu and things like that there, but no, I wouldn't want to compete in it. But if a guy wanted to buy it, and I'm reluctant to sell it, so we'll see how long it stays.
I think world cars have become the... it's like commodity trading, isn't it, in world car at the moment. It's a bit of an arms race when you look at the values. Before we get to this, because this is kind of the pièce de résistance of the collection. This is the one that we get all the tongues wagging if we were to go into real detail, which, for reasons I've already explained, we won't right now.
No.
But that is the sort of thing that gets a rally nerd like me very excited. I did an evening with John Millington recently at the Motorist near Leeds, and he told me about the days when he used to drive the Metro 6R4 out to Europe with an RED van, probably just like that one.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate creation for a rally nerd, isn't it, Dennis?
Yeah, well, I would like my service vans, and I have all the models of the service vans, and we seen this come up for sale, and we knew we just put the sticker. It was a red van. It has all the right doors on it. It has all the right bits on it, so we could turn it into a set of stickers, turned it into an RD van. It towed this car back in the day. RD owned this car, and it was towed by one of these. So
Can we not build one of those for the special stage studio van for the Roger Albert Clark Rally, Wayne? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
You'd like that. Lisa would go for that. I'm sure you could put the budget into one of those. So it's a good time then to move on to this, because to anybody who, like me, like Wayne, like the many fans that watch Special Stage, who revere not just the car itself, but the period of time and the development and the names that were involved in the Metro 6R4 project, if you want to call it that. This is the car, isn't it? This piece of metal here tells a million stories.
Well, this is one of the prototypes. There's only 3 of them, and this was the main development car. This was the car that was 13-inch wheel prototype, and brought into 16-inch wheels and arches and all the modifications. Yeah. This is the actual car that all the 200 were built from. So
I've got photos of this. When I was at Cadwell Park, there's an archive, and buried in there is a wonderful photo of Tony Pond testing this car. Nobody can actually tell me who sat in the car with him, and I'd love to know that, because you can't actually see because the helmet's just obscured with the A-pillar. But Tony was testing in this car at Cadwell Park, and that is putting the hairs on the back of my neck, because this car means so much to Metro 6R4 folklore. But this is the sister car to the one that's at Gaydon, isn't it? The car that people know as the prototype, and it has the vents on the rear quarter panel down here. You'll have seen it. It's got the kind of almost alley cat style wheels, isn't it?
It's a 13-inch wheel car, and that's what this started off as, and this is how it ended. And it was driven by some very famous names: Tom Walkinshaw, Frank Williams, Mark Duez, Tony Pond, Dale Llewellyn won rally in this here. Lucky enough we saved it before we got too much damage on it. But,
but it's the detail in here. I mean, looking at the dashboard, I know you're going to keep it like this, which is good, because it's a museum piece at this stage, isn't it? But that dashboard just reminds me of looking into the cockpit of a
airplane,
a Spitfire or something like that when you go to a World War II museum, because it's got that kind of look to it, but it's the history as well. The people who have
people who sit behind that wheel. It is slightly different than any other 6R. It's a work 6R4. It's a prototype. It's the first of its kind. It's all the things you would want. All the birthmarks are on it, where it has changed over the years.
And being a prototype, it's heavy, because it's got all the extra metal work, isn't it?
Well, it was the heaviness that saved it, because it was too heavy, 150 kilo too heavy to really compete in it, compared to an Austin Rover body shell. And
that's because of extra strengthening. It's because of extra metal that you can't explain. Actually, there's some bits that you can't explain on it, isn't there?
There's a big plate underneath it which I can't really explain. There's all the modifications in it you can see. They're all plain for anybody to see. The dash and the wiring, there's a lot, it's just all heavy stuff. So you had 150 kilo carrying about with you, which you didn't need.
And you've got various marks on here to kind of denote the key stories of this car and this development shell. But this is an alloy roof that was very crudely grafted on.
Yeah, she was damaged in a testing accident when she was being developed, and they sort of half cut the tin roof off it. There's marks, still parts of it in there, and they put an alloy roof on top of it.
Is that why it had a white roof at one stage? It wasn't by design, it was just because they stuck a roof on it? Or did it always have a white roof before the accident?
I'm not sure. There's lots of photos and lots of configurations, and it was mostly a white car, this. David Llewellyn won it in white. They made it the front page of Autosport and Car Conversions. It carried different number plates at times, but all the bits.
This was the courtesy car for RED, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is called Dog. This car has nicknamed Dog in RED because it was used for so many different things, and they passed it on till or sold it to a rally school for a show car in Cumbria. And I had a car before this. It was a Porsche, and I got great money for it, and this was the first car in the advert, and I went across to Cumbria and brought it home with me, along with a load of spares, a van load of spares. A lot of stuff's from a sister car, 657, came with it. So.
And from there, you got boxes of bits, and you started to piece together bits of the history that you weren't aware of, and that suddenly came out of these boxes, which I love. It's kind of like Pandora's box, isn't it, at that stage? But if you had your car being built by RED Developments, or your car was in for work, this is the car they give you to do a rally, and they'd put your plates on it, and you'd go up pretty much. I'm simplifying it, but effectively that's what happened a few times,
That's why it's called Dog.
I love that.
It was the Dog in RED.
The Metro 6R4 courtesy car. It's the name of the video, producer Wayne. So what I really like about this, and I promise we won't go into too much detail, but you can see where things have been changed. And I was having a closer look around the back here, because these are the bits you can't see when the engine's in and when the car's got all its trim on, but there are very key pen marks in here, Dennis, which show how when it moved from having 13-inch wheels to the bigger turrets, when they had the wider arches, suddenly they had to change all of this at the back.
Long wheelbase height.
And that's a subject of much debate, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's there for anybody to see. It's in the history, it's in the period history, which may have been taken away. People change things.
And it's in the metal. And the thing about these cars is, unless you worked at Austin Rover when they were developing them, unless you were part of that team, you wouldn't really
Well,
know.
I've been talking to some of the team, and they really didn't know what they were working on. They thought they were working on different. If you had 657 plates on, they would say it was 657. If they went by the number plate, they didn't actually know the cars. Why would they know the cars? They were sent to work on a car, and they didn't really know the identity of it,
They probably didn't care that much.
and they didn't care.
In those days, it was a
So-
job, wasn't it?
It's only after 30 years they're digging out things that may be true or may not.
You have had an adventure in this sport. You've competed in this car, you then moved on to compete in the other Metro.
Yeah.
What has been your absolute highlight? Be it rallycross, rallying?
Sitting in the grid in Brands Hatch in Rallycross was one of the best feelings I've ever had. You were sitting in, I think, 10 cars in the grid at that time, probably 7,000 horsepower. And you were sitting in the middle of it.
And you're looking right and left and you're seeing names like...
Yeah. Martin Schenker, Will Gall, all. I can't remember the guy in the BMW. It was the fastest car I ever seen. He was sitting behind me, and he had a Formula One, four-wheel drive, Formula One engine in it. And it was like his feet was hanging out of the back window, the scarf on his neck, because he came from the back of the grid, but he ended up in the fence. He went over the top of, I think, Rob Gibson. But when you're sitting in that grid, you would have thought the car was vibrating, or the road was vibrating. That's my best memory.
If you're not going onto YouTube after you've watched this and looking for videos of the proper supercar days in British Rallycross, then I don't know what else you'd be doing, to be honest, because just thinking of sitting in that grid is quite spine-tingling. This area that we're in is big rally country. There are certain places we go, and you just know. When you arrive, they ask you in the airport, are you here for the rally? You turn up to the hotel, they say, are you competing in the rally? Everybody seems to know there's a rally on. We went to a shopping centre where you couldn't get a parking space because it was full of rally cars, and there were so many people. That must be quite special for somebody who has built a life in this sport and has their family doing the same thing. That must be very special to you, to see your local lanes and your local places turned into rally festival.
Yeah. In Ireland, at one point, we had something over 100 World Rally cars. There was no other country in the world that had this. Most of them have gone now, but we have a lot of our Rally 2s and R5s and Mark II Escorts, and we have some of the best drivers in the world.
Yeah.
We have so much rally sport history. What more can you ask for?
We're back to having an Irish driver in the WRC as well, of course, which is something that I've grown up obviously always known with Chris.
Chris, to me, would be the fastest rally driver in the world. If he was 110, if he'd backed off to 95, he probably would have won the World Championship.
But a little bit like Colin, had he backed off to 95, would he be the Chris Meek, and would we have the legends and the legacies and the stories that we have?
There you go.
It's part of it.
I know that.
And it's the character, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, to me, Chris was the fastest. He wasn't necessarily the best because he didn't slow down enough to win. Colin, I knew him pretty well, and what words could you say? He was just something else.
And I noticed the Tough Mac model in there, Bertie Fisher, obviously somebody that we all revere in the sport as well for those Group A days.
I like most of if you go through the models, you'll find quite a lot of Irish heroes, as I call them. I just like to collect them sort of stuff, and you just have to admire them. I have Kenny McKinsey, lives 5 miles down the road. Bertie was a gentleman, really fast driver. You have all the Irish drivers that I call, all the top Irish drivers were just fantastic. Most of them wouldn't travel out of Ireland, but they were good drivers.
And yesterday at the Down Rally, Stuart obviously was competing. He had a good day as well, made a lot of progress during the day, and he seemed chuffed with himself when we got to the final stage. And I had the pleasure of chatting to the drivers on the final stop line. Does it fill you with a little bit more pride? Does it top up the pride to have the family following you into the sport?
Yeah, I back Stuart to the hilt. Anything I can do, but he's had some bad times. He had a big crash the last rally done, and yesterday was a learning curve. Probably the car's a bit outdated now, but
yes.
You know.
So I was saying yesterday, it's amazing how, a bit like these cars,
Yeah.
the development moves on so quickly.
Yeah, well, ours is like 2016 car. Back then it was a top-notch car. Now it's
going to be a few seconds a mile off the pace,
Yeah.
isn't it, of the top cars now, just let alone who's driving it. But for me, it's not just the moments on the stages. It is not just the stories that we tell of the rallies and the wins and the championships. It's little moments to do with the people in our sport. And there was a moment at the start when Stuart drove over the ramp in front of all the fans on Friday night. And I know you were there as well, next to your 6R4, and his son, your grandson, was in the co-driver's seat. Big, beaming grin on his face. That is a moment those moments matter.
those two boys make their own pace notes.
Do they? How old are they?
I think Oscar would be 4, 7 or 8, and they're practicing doing pace notes every. You get a few wee videos, and they don't know what to take, but yeah, they're totally into it. And there's no car like their dad's car.
Dennis, you've built a legacy in this sport, and it has been an absolute pleasure to have a look around this barn. You might not get me out of here. I might miss my flight just because there's so much to look at, and I've only just begun. But your legacy is in your family competing. It's in these wonderful cars that you now open up for people to come and look for charity. Thank you so much for what you've done in our sport, and thank you for showing us around personally.
There's plenty more to see.
There is plenty more to see. Just leave me here.
Aye, well, lock 'em in.
See?